There's an extra chair.
Sorry, hold on 2 seconds.
Okay.
I first of all want to welcome everyone to our second bucket course of this spring semester. A couple of things that have changed, obviously, and I wanted to point out that I forgot to last time in our new space today. We do have, I think it's important to point out, and I should have last time, our restrooms. Our restrooms, which you're welcome, obviously, to use at any point during this presentation, are located over here. There's 2 restrooms. There's a water fountain over here too. Coffee, obviously, I think everyone found coffee and cookies. You're welcome to have that. Don't worry about spilling on the carpet. I've seen multiple cups spilled, so it's okay. We'll clean it up. But please feel free to use the facilities, get some coffee while we're here. Also, last time I forgot to let everybody know there is a T-loop, so if you need to turn that on, please do so, because that is available in this room. We don't have a sign yet because it's ordered and on its way. Okay, Jack. Sorry, I wanted to make sure everyone knew those temple reminders. Now I'm going to let you go for it. Okay?
I like that light. It follows me around, right in your eyes. Well, anyway, our speaker this morning is Dr. Dave Cranston. He's a member of the Presbyterian Church, and he's been in charge and has worked with and developed the food recovery from the church. And the food recovery actually is food coming not served from the college and from Mayflower. And then there's a few individuals who cater food, sometimes bring food they haven't served. And some of the stores will have a little food for us too that we can hand out. Anyway, he's been in charge of this. It's had an interesting history for the last 10 years. He and Roger Bortel, I don't know if he showed up this morning. Anyway, the two of them have worked together along with all the people who help him. So right now I'd like to introduce Dr. Dave Cranston.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. All right. This is going to be a real brief presentation, so I hope you have some questions after. But Food Recovery Grinnell is the organization we're talking about. It was originally started by a college student named Dylan Bondi, who was concerned about the amount of food waste in the cafeteria at the college. And he tried to get Mike involved, but they didn't have the manpower to handle it. We went to a couple other places, I think, and then finally ended up talking to us at First Presbyterian Church. And of course, being Presbyterian, we had to have 3 or 4 committees working on it all at once. And when we got through all that process, we decided to give it a go. The parent organization is actually was started in the University of Maryland. It's basically a college student-run program, but college isn't always in session, and so we try to keep it operating year-round if we can. As Jack had mentioned earlier, we gather food that has been prepared but not served, and then from the Mayflower, from college when they're in session, occasionally from a few other places. For a while we had an arrangement with Hy-Vee, but that got changed when they started providing the food for the jail down in Montezuma. And we tried Fairway and kind of hit or miss, and the manager at the time didn't seem too interested in it, and it kind of withered away and died. So, but we also get food from what used to be called Come and Go, but now Maverick. if they have things that are gonna outdate before, you know, they're packaged, but they're still edible and safe, then we get food from them too. Originally, when KFC was open, we got food from them, and sometimes quite a lot of food. I think I remember one day we got about 300 pounds of chicken. But anyway, that's no longer available either. We get also some food occasionally from the Brooklyn Food Bank. They have a food bank over there, and occasionally they have milk or a few other things that is surplus for them, and they sometimes bring them to us to distribute. We originally had the people we were serving bring their own containers, but after the first couple of weeks of that, well, a little longer than that, we decided to quit doing that because some of the containers they were bringing from home hadn't been washed, they were filthy. We had a couple of cockroaches in them. Yes?
I can't hear.
If you hold your mic closer to your mouth, we can hear.
Okay. Sorry.
Maybe let's put it right here. Right, or you right there. Yeah.
When you look up at us, it's nice to see your face, but when you look up at us, it takes you away from the mic.
There we go.
The mic's not weird.
I don't think we gotta bring those
Here we go.
over.
Let's see if it's better.
I don't
Is that
know if
better?
they have anyone or not.
Can
Say
you
a
hear,
little more.
A little bit louder.
can you hear me better now?
A little bit. A little
A
bit.
little
Okay.
bit.
Sure.
There, I have it all the way up over here. Let's see. Let's try to find a spot where we get this mic right here. Okay, let's see that one. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, holding it might even be better.
That's
You may have to catch it though, I'm a little closer.
Just put it right in there. Yep.
Is this, no?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, can you hear me now?
That's better.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll go back a little bit then. Our local chapter began in February of 2014. So we're coming up on 12 years completed. Starting
have it up higher.
Yeah.
I apologize, I'm not used to microphones. Local chapter began in 2014, and so we've been operating for nearly 12 years, going into our 13th year in about a week or so. We initially had the clients, I'm going back now a little bit here, I apologize. Initially, we had clients bring their own containers and we put the food in them, but the containers were often not clean and just unsanitary. So we started using a disposable system, which unfortunately adds to the plastic waste in the local landfill, I'm sure. But we have containers now that we prepare about 50 meals. It's a 2-compartment container, so we have a protein, vegetable, and starch. We try to make sure that we get about 50 meals of that each time we distribute. We get the food on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and package it, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we distribute it. We had someone donated us an old commercial refrigerator that lasted about a year, and then it died, and so we ended up buying a new one, and it's working fine. When the program began, people would come into the church and we would put the food in their containers. But as I said, we switched to this system, and that actually happened at COVID, because when COVID pandemic hit, we shut down for several weeks. We have a pretty small but mighty crew of people that work on getting this food packaged and distributed. We do not charge for the food. And anyone who wants it can come and get it. But there's also a lot of people that can't drive, or for some reason or another can't get to the church to get the food on a routine basis. So we actually started delivering the food to those that contact us. We warn people that we don't know what is in the food always, and if there's any food allergies, we do not recommend that they use our servers, because there may be something in it that we don't know that whether it's got an allergen in it or not. That being said, in the 12 years that we've been doing this, we've never had anybody get sick from the food we've given them. And we've introduced a lot of people in the community to food that they probably never would have eaten if they hadn't, if we hadn't had the connection to the college, because the college has a very eclectic dining service. There's a lot of Asian foods and things like that, and some of them are really good, and some of them I wouldn't want to eat again necessarily, but anyway, for the most part, the food is very well accepted and distributed. In the 12 years we've been in operation, we have collected and distributed 230, or we're going on almost 240,000 pounds of food that we have salvaged. That's a lot of food. And there's still food waste, I'm sure, in the community. But we've had problems getting cooperation with some of the people. I went to every restaurant in town and gave them a little flyer about the food that we have, or what we're doing with it. And we essentially never got anything back from the broader community, except for the current, well, Hy-Vee initially in Fairway for a while, and now the Maverick stores and the college and Mayflower. Last year we had a little bit of a hiccup. Someone who I think wanted to take over the program and run it, that thought they could do a better job of it than we were doing, filed a complaint with the state, and we had to go through it. We had to shut down, of course, and went through a 2 or 3 week process of convincing the state that what we're doing is valuable and also safe, because again, we've had nobody ever complained about being sick from the food that we've given them. Currently, we're serving about 80 clients 3 days a week. And that's not necessarily individual, but it's 30 different family units that we're serving food to. Many of them are single person families, but we have several kids that are getting food from the program as well that are not included in that 80. Like I said, we do not charge for the food, but that doesn't mean that we're operating this without putting any money into it, because we're spending approximately $6,000 to $8,000 a year on containers, and related supplies. We use Ziploc bags, we use these meal containers, and then we have plastic deli cups with tight sealing lids, because a lot of the food we get is in the form of soup or has a lot of liquid in it. We learned by experience very quickly that Ziploc bags are not reliable. When you're loading about 30 or 40 bags into a large tote, they leak. That's basically it. If you have any questions, I'm going to...
Dave, why don't we play that?
Oh, I forgot about that, sure.
Yeah, we're going to do that first, but go ahead and play it now, and then we'll ask you a question.
Okay.
Sarah.
I've got a little brain rot, I'm sorry. This video is actually, that they're going to show is was made by a college student early on in the program. And we tried to find it after he graduated and couldn't find it, and all of a sudden it showed up. So really pleased about that. So anyway, thank you.
So as you're listening to the video, this nonprofit did win an award from the Grinnell Chamber of Commerce. So just as a little bit of a backdrop, that's what the Grin Together Award is, and that's why you'll hear Bill Menner's voice talking and explaining about the programs. Let's fingers crossed that this all works.
A group that has been around for more than a decade, though this may be the first time some of you are hearing about them. Having largely been under the radar since that time, they have worked to address food insecurity in Grinnell since their inception. While technically a national program, and one often affiliated with colleges, this Grinnell program officially debuted in May 2013. At that time, Grinnell College students contacted the First Presbyterian Church to see if they would be willing to commit time and energy to working with students to address food insecurity. The program partners with agencies who have leftover food that would otherwise go to waste, repackages, and distributes the meals to people in need of additional food. The program has grown exponentially to serve more community members in need, as well as build partnerships with other area businesses. Like most programs, it has evolved over time for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes because there were no college students who were able to assist with the work, sometimes because there were too many students who wanted to help, and of course, the pandemic brought about a whole host of challenges. But the program's lead volunteers, Roger Bortel and Dr. David Cranston, have worked with program volunteers and collaborators to pivot and evolve. They've incorporated efforts like outdoor food pickup, implemented delivery, and partnered with other local businesses such as Unity Point Grinnell, Come and Go, and the Mayflower community, to name a few. The program is now serving approximately 80 individuals 3 days a week by way of delivery and in-person pickup, and works with a handful of organizations who are providing food. While its volunteer leadership continues to provide unwavering support of the program, additional volunteers are needed to support the efforts and to ensure its sustainability to address food insecurity in the Grinnell community. The program continues to be an incredibly impactful grassroots effort working to address ongoing challenges. Congratulations to the Grinnell Food Recovery Network, our next Grin Together recipient this year.
Monster Math presents multiplication. Okay, class.
There's so many more
Monster
things.
Math.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
If anyone has questions, I'll bring the mic, and Dave may have to, there's only two we got.
Yep, I'll give you a mic, Dave. Yeah. Yeah, good question.
So this might be just kind of in the weeds, but I'm curious, you have specific locations that you currently work with. Like how do the logistics work? Do they call you like on Monday night and say, you know, at 9 o'clock saying I have food for you, or do you just have a set time that you go to these locations and pick up the food?
We have a set time that we go to pick up the food, so plus or minus 30 minutes approximately. We're not always on this quite the same schedule.
And then you take it to the church or somewhere?
Take
and
it to the church,
repackage it?
repackage it. You saw the packaging containers. They have plastic goods that go on top of them that so they seal pretty good, but they still will leak if there's a liquid. So we use plastic pint deli cups or that's for things that are more liquid.
Awesome. My other one is just a comment. You say that you have visited other restaurants that aren't interested in participating. Keep asking, because, I mean, just keep asking. Don't take a no as a no.
Okay.
One other thing, the Mayflower, we're redoing some of their kitchens. They had this big cooler, which they gave to us, and even delivered it. And we couldn't get it in the door without putting it sideways. And we set it up and told you can't plug it in for a day or it won't work. And so that gives us extra storage to put the food in till delivered. Where before we had little refrigerators, and if we got too much food, we took it to Micah, and then they distribute the food that we couldn't get at the time that it needs to be distributed. Anyone else have a question?
Let me comment on that too, just a second.
Okay.
That refrigerator died, the one you're talking about. We bought a brand new one to replace it. So, I guess that's all I have there.
Where do you get your funding?
2 seconds.
Just a minute, we got Mike. She has.
So I have a question and a comment. Question, how many volunteers do you have working with you? That's my question. And comment is, if you're needing refrigerator, have you guys thought about going to 100+ people and submitting a request for funding through them?
Yeah.
As far as the number of people, we probably have, Jack's one of our stalwarts, we probably have about 6 to 8 people that are regularly helping us out. Most of them are from the Presbyterian Church, but we've got a couple community people besides. Well, more than that, 3 or 4. And not everybody shows up every day, but for the most part, we have enough people. We're typically getting, right now, between 300 and 400 pounds per each day that we just gather food. And of that, it takes us about an hour and a half to 2 hours to repackage it. We refrigerate it as soon as we can to keep it safe. We have a thermal gun thermometer that we can do temperature measurements on it if I know it's borderline. Most of the food you can tell it's either cold or hot. And either one are fine if it's cold or hot, but if it's warm, we need to take care of it very quickly to make sure we do not make anyone ill. But as I said, we have not had any illnesses that I'm aware.
I was just wondering, where do you get your funding? How do you fund this program?
Donations by people. Several people in our church donate, and we've gotten some food from some community, some money from community people, but it's mostly just out of pocket from some donations or another.
Are you a nonprofit?
Well, we're under the auspices of First Presbyterian, so yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering in regards to how your actual dividing the food up goes. Do you have one person that's in charge of making sure there's a salad in each one, or as you run out of food and have to transfer to different buckets? Who makes those decisions?
Well, it's sort of a communal decision, but we've been doing it long enough, and the crew works together so well that if one of us is gone for some reason or another, there's somebody that knows how to deal with it, and it gets taken care of. You know, sometimes we don't have as much vegetables as we'd like, but we use what we have. And then as far as the distributions go, if we have enough food to go for everybody, we let people come into the church to pick out food that they want, and then then the rest of the food goes for distributions around the community to the people that we know are on our list. Yeah.
We used to deliver for Meals on Wheels. Has this replaced that program, or is that program still in existence?
I think it's still in existence, but I'm not. I delivered for them a few times myself, but before I was doing the food recovery, and I'm not 100% sure because with the current budgeting that's going on with and programs that changed and so forth, I honestly don't know if it's still working or not.
On speaking about knowing how to do what you're doing, and when you do it long enough, everybody up there has a little job, and like he said, it isn't hard to make the decision. It's made very quickly, and we try to put together 50 meals, and there's a certain crew that does that. They know exactly what to do. And then I'm kind of in charge of all the little cups with the soups and other loose things, and another fellow helps me with that. And you're right, it takes about an hour and a half, sometimes hour to 2 hours actually. Sometimes we get a lot of food from the college and we're probably there till 4 o'clock. It works pretty well.
Just one quick question. So is the food delivered hot?
No.
Okay,
That's refrigerated.
okay, and they just heat it up when they get it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Either that or you go.
If somebody, did everybody hear the question? Okay.
Where would one find out how to donate? Would it be through the Presbyterian Church, or is there a special website for the food recovery?
No, there's no website locally. If you want to make a donation, make it out to First Presbyterian Church and put FR and our food recovery in the memo line.
But how would people who just know that it exists, but how would they know where to find that information?
Micah tells them, and tells them there's a booklet that's distributed every year. It's revised every year and distributed that tells people what the community resources are for food and other things. And Micah, I think, is kind of in charge of that.
So the Chamber of Commerce would be a source of how you know that it exists?
I haven't talked to them about it, no.
Thank you.
They are the ones that give us that award 2 years ago of
Right.
the work we do.
I'm just picturing
Yeah.
somebody new moving in and wondering, how do you know?
There's a network of people that if people are hungry, there's a network of people that know that Micah's available. They go to Micah, and Micah tells them the different resources available. That's the biggest way that people get to know us, and they end up calling me, and then we set it up. But I hadn't thought about the chamber, to be honest with you. I apologize about that.
What percentage of your food comes from the college, and what do you do during the summer?
The percentage of food from the college is about 60% during the college year. And the rest is from and then Mayflower is a big source. I've tried, I can't think of the name of the east side,
Salem Park or St.
St. Francis Manor, but they aren't interested. They say they don't have any food waste, which I find really hard to believe. But anyway, so the bulk of it is from Mayflower. We can buy food, and I need to make arrangements for during the summer when the college student, or breaks when college students are gone, that protein would be the big issue there probably, and some vegetables too. We're going to try to talk to either the Mayflower or we actually had some food coming from Saints Rest for a while, but the people that have a commercial kitchen to do it. We try to stay within the parameters set to us by the state as much as we can. So far, we're on sort of a probationary status, but they haven't talked to us in a long time, so hopefully that they forgot about us.
Oh, we do get some food from people who serve like a church or not a church, organization that put and make food to them, take to them, and if it's not served, they bring it to us.
Yeah, like we've gotten food from the Methodist Church and I think the Catholic Church a couple times a year.
I can't think of his name, the other fellow that's catering. He now no longer has a restaurant open, but he does catering.
Come on.
Well,
Yeah.
he uses food occasionally, yeah. But we're probably going to make arrangements with somebody during the summer to have a ready supply of vegetables and protein. Those are the big things that we've been lacking. Yes?
See your hand.
This is wonderful, what you are doing, and I think we all need to say thank you. I suspect, with the number of volunteers that you speak of, you're getting the word out through Micah, through word of mouth, through the various places you've mentioned. That is probably, I'm guessing, at this point, enough for you guys to handle. Donations need to come in, obviously. I just know it's hard to feed so many people, get the volunteers to go together. We were part of a homeless shelter network, and part of my job in Chicago Heights years ago was to get volunteers to donate food. And that's hard to do. So you're doing it, I think you're doing it very well.
Jack mentioned it, and I forgot to mention it in my talk, that we've donated food to Micah's multiple times. Sometimes when we have an extra larger amount of food, we take it to Micah, we package it for them, but then take it to Micah. And I think we got a letter that we'd given them 7,000 pounds of food last year.
Does that work both ways? Does Micah give you food?
No.
No. But they take ours when We can't get rid of it, we haven't got enough room in the refrigerator. We're not gonna let it spoil, so we take it to Micah. They take it. That's kind of our overflow without wasting that food.
One thing you might consider for asking for a grant from the Grinnell Food Coalition, because I know they have a grant.
We got a small grant from them a couple of years ago. And you mentioned also the 100+ people who care. My wife and I used to be in that. And I actually went to a meeting once that I was giving a presentation. But to be honest with you, the other things that I heard that people were asking for seemed to be pretty important too. And I figured we could manage without the extra food. Financial contributions are the best things simply because we cannot accept food from a person who doesn't have a commercial kitchen. Yes?
I'm a member of 100+ people, so I know what you're saying. A lot of needing organizations out there, but sometimes it helps if you do a presentation because it gets the word out to that group of people, and then the networking and word of mouth on that one. So it might be worth giving it a shot.
That's probably true. I have trouble with stairs. The last meeting I went to, there were a lot of stairs.
They're here now.
They're here now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can handle here.
What are the public health requirements or restrictions you have to pay special attention to? Do you
Well,
have
they
to
want us
wear
to-
air nuts and gloves? Or do they
Oh, yeah,
check
well, we
temperatures?
don't always do the hairnet thing, but I can't get my people to wear those. Jack's really hard to.
I don't have to. That's what I was gonna say.
But we wear gloves and masks. And again, we're using new containers all the time.
Well, on that movie there, the picture showed some of us working. You can see we all had masks on and gloves. We tried to get the people with long hair to wear the netting. Another question.
Is there a wait list for people to get, to be a client or to be serviced? Or, and if you want to
All they gotta do
participate,
is
you just
call
call the
me
church?
and put them on the list, and we try to start giving them food. That's provided my brain is working like it should, and I remember where to write it down. I had a head injury a year ago, and I don't think as clearly as I used to. So.
Any more questions?
I have one question. I'll move to you.
So if someone wants to get involved, they can contact you, or the Presbyterian Church if someone wants to get involved?
Presbyterian Church, the secretaries are in the mornings, Monday through Friday. Or my phone number, if you want it, is 641-990-1610. And everybody's got a cell phone. And now I'm old enough that I remember when you used to have a phone book and you could look stuff up. Can't do that anymore. But anyway, you can always contact the Presbyterian Church and talk to Cheryl, and she'll put you in touch with me, or let me know, and I can call you back.
And again, thinking about if someone's interested in helping out, so obviously donations and then time. And can you remind me again, how often do you meet? How long is it for a volunteer to help? And then it's about 50 meals, is that what, or 50, yeah, packaging, or,
Well,
yeah, tell us, yeah.
we package 50 of the black containers,
Okay.
which should have 3 food groups in it, a protein, a starch, and a vegetable.
And a assembly line.
Yeah.
Assembly line, okay.
And, but then we put the rest of the food that we have in either the deli cups or Ziploc bags, depending on what the food is. And a typical shift, right now we're starting about 2:15 or 2:20 in the afternoon. We do the Mayflower first because we can get the meals usually out of that. And then when the college food comes, we package that in Ziplocs and the deli cups. And on average, it's probably about an hour and a half, wouldn't you say, Jack?
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of food. We've had to start around 2 and I've been there till 4, so
Yeah.
2 hours is probably the most,
Yeah.
hour to hour and a half.
And you wouldn't have to stay the whole time. It's not like you're chained to a table. We appreciate the help.
And this is every day?
No, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is
Monday,
when we
Wednesday,
do the
Friday.
packaging.
Okay.
That's the big day, and then the delivery or distribution is on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We take Sundays off.
That's great. That's a lot. That's awesome.
I have one more question.
One more question? Okay. Oh, here, do you want me to do it? I don't need to.
It's fine.
So let's say you don't get enough food from these locations to fill all 50 of your meals. What do you do then?
We distribute what we have, and we kind of select who we think needs it the most. There are some people we've given food to in the past that it was a convenience for them, but it wasn't a necessity, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But there are a lot of people in this community that are hungry. And I grew up on a farm about 25 miles from here, and I can't remember being hungry in my life. I thought I was hungry, but I wasn't hungry. It's just, and just seafood wastage just is sad. So I think we sort of balance the food waste with the plastic waste, and I wish we had a better way of doing it, but I'm not going to have people bring dirty, filthy cups back to the church to be washed in the church. That's unsanitary, and it would take too much time. And I apologize, but I had that silence. So,
Loud enough so you can hear it.
yeah. Well, I need that anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cranston. Thank you, Jack, for all the time as well that you put into this. Quite honestly, I would describe it as it's just a beautiful nonprofit. The work that you do, not only for those that are food insecure, also just a really wonderful way of making sure food doesn't go to waste in town too. So yeah, just such a great nonprofit. Thank you that we have here in town. Thank you. Beautiful program. Next week. So first of all, I do want to make sure everyone knows my colleague Donette Ellis spent a lot of time creating a new website for us. We are moving over to this website, or web page, I should say, is on the Grinnell College website. And once you get there, you can search bucket courses, and it is here, which is really great to have, all of our, like we did in the past, but a little bit different look of all of our programs coming up. So next week is Professor Michael Gunther. excited to welcome him here and talk about science and politics in the 1790s. So he is an incredible scholar. So excited to hear his program next week. So please encourage others, or maybe just inform others that we are now meeting here instead of the Drake Community Library. And look forward to seeing you all next week. And please have a great rest of your week. Take care. Thank you.